Okay, and so what we are looking at here are all the modes of the major scale in order from darkest to brightest in sound. So what we do is we start with the Locrian scale, which is derived from the 7 chord of the major scale. So it's the 7th mode of major, okay? So this is the scale that goes over a diminished triad or a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And basically this scale has the smallest intervals in it from the root note. So basically if we look at it, and we start from B, if we think of just chord tones, we have a flat 3 and a flat 5 to F right there. Okay? So what that means is these notes are closer to the root note than any other scale. Okay? As you can see, all the other scales have an F sharp being a natural fifth. Okay? So basically what makes a scale or mode sound darker in nature is how many of the notes of that scale are closer to the root note, meaning it's more diminished and small, the distances from the root note to each note of that scale. So basically, if you look after the Locrian mode, we go to the Phrygian mode, which is the same as a Locrian mode, but we just have one note altered. It has a natural fifth as opposed to a flat 5. Okay, so that note right there from B to F sharp is a wider interval than B to F. So this scale is just a little bit brighter. It's more opened up. We have more distance from the root note. And then the next scale would be minor. Same thing, we're adding one more sharp. So you're thinking of it like we're going up the circle of fifths in a sense. You know, we're adding a sharp to each mode and they become brighter and brighter until we end up at the Lydian mode. Okay? So it's pretty simple. Basically, the more notes in that scale that are distant from the root note, the brighter that mode sounds. Okay? So the order here, we have Locrian as the darkest scale. Then moving up from that, we have Phrygian. Then we have minor. Then we have Dorian, which is a bit brighter, right? Then we have Mixolydian, which is a slight bit brighter than Dorian because it has a natural third in it. And then we have the major scale. And the last one is the Lydian scale because it has a sharp 4. So it has one more wider interval from the root note than a major scale does. Okay. Now we can also think of this for modes of the harmonic minor, melodic minor, and harmonic major, stuff like that. So if we think, what scale would be brighter than a Lydian scale? Well, if we think Lydian augmented, we would have a sharp 5 in that case. So in this context, it'd be F double sharp, basically, or G, really, you know. But basically, it doesn't matter what key you're in. The point is that a Lydian augmented scale is going to be technically brighter than a Lydian scale because it has a sharp 5. So that sharp 5 is just a half step further away from the root note as the regular fifth is in a Lydian scale. And that same idea can be applied going backwards from the Locrian scale if we think of the 7th mode of harmonic major, which is Locrian double flat 7. So if we were to take the 7th of the Locrian and make it flat, we would have Locrian double flat 7. So based on this idea, this scale would be technically darker than a Locrian scale because you have the double flat 7. So there's one more note in that scale that is closer to the root note as opposed to the A natural that's in a Locrian scale.